Hi, Penn Dodson from Anderson Dodson.
Hi, it's Christopher Anderson with Anderson Dodson.
If you've been recently fired or let go or separated from your employment and you've been offered a severance contract or separation agreement, whatever they may call it, it's critical that you get it reviewed by an attorney so that you understand what you are getting, what you are giving up, and whether it makes sense for you in your life. I do encourage you to get proactive advice, and especially in tumultuous times like this, it is tempting to just sign anything just to get a little bit of money coming in the door. I highly encourage you to just take a breath, get a consult scheduled. We can do it very quickly, so at least you know what you are signing, so that you can do it with an empowered stance and know what you are getting into.
What is a separation agreement? What is a severance agreement? And this is typically an agreement that an employer will offer in order to end your employment with them on terms that are agreeable between you and them. Is it normal is a question, and the answer is, sometimes yes, sometimes no. A lot of employments end without a separation or severance agreement, but a lot of them don't.
Second question is whether the amount offered is normal and or a good deal under the circumstances. That's where it's extremely important to have your situation reviewed individually, because the answer can vary all over the place. Sometimes if you get 2 weeks, that's an amazing deal. Sometimes if you are offered 6 months, that is not nearly enough under the circumstances. So it's critical to work with somebody to figure out whether the monetary amount that's being offered makes sense to you.
Some of our clients want to know whether they can get more. The answer is maybe. It depends on, again, what your specific situation is. But what I can tell you is that we can evaluate your situation and advise you as to what might make it the most possible to get more.
In addition to the monetary amount, the potentially more critical portions of the agreement are the things that you may not even pay attention to. It's the part that don't have dollar signs by them. It's the part that's written in legalese, and you may not even understand what the real import of it will be to you long term. This is the part that we funded as our mission to break down, put it into easily understood, non-legalese terms so that you can understand what the words are saying, but more importantly, what effect it could have on your life and whether it's important to object to those terms, try to negotiate those terms, or if they are just okay. If it turns out that given your situation, it's really not a big deal, then let's not make it a big deal.
Another question would be whether there's anything in there that you should be looking for or worried about. And this is, of course, where our advice can come in particularly handy. A severance agreement or separation agreement is something that most people deal with maybe once, maybe twice in their lifetime. And yeah, you know what? There are some things that should be in there, and there are definitely some things you should watch out for in there. And we would review any agreement that's been offered to you and suggest to you what might be removed and what might be added in order to make it work better for you.
Because we have seen so many of these questions, and honestly, we were frustrated with lawyers that we knew just offering their services on a sort of ad hoc hourly basis. So you never knew if you're going to be spending $500, $1,000, $3,000, $8,000 just getting your severance contract reviewed. We created a specific streamlined package. What that means is that you'll go through a very brief questionnaire to answer a few basic questions. You'll upload your contract. The attorney will review it. You'll give some background questions or things that you're particularly interested in, and then you'll have a 30-minute phone call with the attorney, usually me, to discuss all the ins and outs of what's important to you about this severance contract.
What we do for you is very simple. We listen to where you are. We listen to your exact situation and review, of course, any agreements that have been offered to you or that have been put out there. We answer your questions and we give you clarity on what it all really means in the big picture, what it means for your future. And then we give you an idea of what you can do, whether you should sign the one that you've got, whether you should negotiate it, whether you should reject it. You give you lots of different options, whether you work with us or you just go back and deal with it yourself. These are the kind of opportunities and alternatives that we will suggest to you in collaboration with you.
My approach is generally not just to go through it and explain the legalese terms, but to really focus on what's important to you, what your goals are, what the issues are, so that sometimes we're even thinking a little bit outside the box as far as it's not about just what the phrases say, it's about what the meaning is and how we can, make the best of this separation that is may not be something that you had in mind 6 months ago, but let's make the best of it while we can.